Time for an update on Incense Cedar, and I am continuously impressed by Incense Cedar. It's growing really well. I don't know if you can see this leader here, but it's putting on fantastic growth vertically. The trunk is perfectly straight. The branching is very regular and symmetrical without any pruning. The sides are putting on more growth, and the trunk is very sturdy. I mean, that's a pretty thick trunk for a tree that's only, I don't know, maybe 4 feet tall. Foliage looks fantastic. Incense cedar, I think, is really underutilized in the eastern United States because it does come from California. But to me, it seems like it's the West Coast version of our native eastern red cedar, possibly even surpassing it in hardiness, definitely in uniformity of growth pattern, and maybe even speed of growth. I'm not sure. So this is my one that I've had for a couple years now. Let me go look at some smaller ones I just purchased. Okay, here's an incense cedar I purchased from forestfarm.com, and that's where I got the big one that I showed you a couple years ago, but this one I just got this spring, and this size they come is about a foot or so tall, and it already shows that fantastic branching structure. It's already started to put on some growth, and I planted it in a spot where I lost 2 deodar cedars due to root rot, but incense cedar is supposed to be resistant to that, so I have high hopes for it, and even in this relatively small state, looks pretty good. Okay, here's an incense cedar I purchased from sequoiatrees.com, and it looks pretty good too. It's not quite as uniform in its growth just yet. I may have to stake this up, but I think the genetics of the incense cedar will take over and make it grow nice and straight after I stake it up. It's leaning a little bit, but I would say if you want to order from sequoiatrees.com, it's a good choice. But the forestfarm.com has larger and better stock to start off with. And here's my smallest incense cedar that I just purchased this spring from keepingitgreen.nursery.com, I believe. It is the smallest of the batch, but it has a pretty good structure to start off with. And I just planted these 3 new incense cedars because I wanted more, since my original one is doing so well. And if you're serious about diversifying your conifer and evergreen selection, I strongly recommend seeking out incense cedar online. The chance of finding it at a nursery locally in Tennessee or even the whole of the Southeast are near zero, so this is definitely going to be one you have to order online, in my opinion.